Today, the number one quarterback in the nation, DeMarcus Morrow, is on campus for our game against Rutgers, along with Lee Bouchard. It's a complimentary visit, and you got to think that a blowout victory over Rutgers could potentially mean that we get even closer to a DeMarcus Morrow commitment. If we were able to bring in DeMarcus Morrow, it looks like he would be the clear successor to Bryce Underwood, who's in his junior season. And he's had a really good junior season overall, and he is one of the highest rated quarterbacks in college football, and so that means he could declare at the end of his junior season. So far this year, he has 13 passing touchdowns, only 4 interceptions, and he's really used his legs the best that he's used them his entire career. 101 carries, 426 yards, and 4 touchdowns on the season, and he's actually our leading rusher at this point in the season. And that's a little bit concerning to me. Dom Brewski, the true freshman, has 81 carries, and then Micah Kaapana has 55. Kaapana's been really efficient when he's been healthy. He's not been healthy the entire season. That's why Dom Brewski has more carries than him. They're both really good running backs, but it's a little concerning that Bryce Underwood is your leading rusher. Receiving, we saw the emergence of senior tight end Michael Smith in the last episode. Had a really good game against Oregon where he had 8 catches for 103 yards and 2 touchdowns. He also had 76 yards against UCLA and a touchdown over Penn State. And we really have a weapon in Michael Smith. Defensively, I really didn't expect it, but I did expect George Luter to have some serious playing time this year, but he is our sack leader at this point in the season. He was more of a rotational guy, and then we saw injuries to Marquise Lightfoot, so we filled in for Lightfoot, and then Lugard Edokpai got hurt, and George Luter's played a lot of snaps so far this season. The first 2 games this season, he only saw 25 and then 35, but then saw a lot more snaps, and then the game against Oregon, he did only have 42 total snaps defensively, but had 2 sacks, so the efficiency is there by George Luter. He's elite development. I'm excited about what he could bring to the team here in a couple of seasons. So we're 6-1, the only loss coming to Penn State in a blowout loss, but they are currently the 5th ranked team in the country, 7-0. They are unbeaten. But the big story to begin this episode is the visit of DeMarcus Morrow. A blowout victory over Rutgers could potentially mean that we get even closer to bringing him in, and it may only take a couple of more weeks after that. But it first begins with his visit against Rutgers. We know that complimentary visits can give you a big boost. We also know that blowout victories can give you a big boost when it comes to recruiting visits. Rutgers is 2-5. They're 1-3 in Big Ten play, and this definitely feels like an opponent that you can blow out. But that has not been the case here through 1 quarter of play, as Rutgers leads 7-0 on the road as they try to spoil the visit of DeMarcus Morrow, as Michael Smith gives us a first down to the 43 of Rutgers. We've seen the offense have some slow starts throughout this season. You have to get your best players going, and Michael Smith is one of those players. Dom Brewski in the game at running back, and we'll throw this one underneath. It's Malik Clark for a first down. Bunch to the right for the Michigan offense, as Underwood's going to go underneath again. It's Amarion Stewart with a pickup of 8. You know, something that I mentioned at the end of the last episode, it kind of feels like our run game is comparable to the Alabama run game from earlier in real life this season. We just haven't really gotten anything going, and our quarterback is our leading rusher, which is a little concerning like I mentioned at the beginning of this episode, but we have to figure out who's going to be the running back who can, get the bulk of the carries and take over a game if we need him to. That was Dom Brewski on the first down carry. As we move into the red zone looking to score, as Michael Smith has it across the middle, it's goal to go for Michigan. Rutgers puts 7 in the box here on 1st and goal as Underwood keeps it. Touchdown, Bryce Underwood. 7-7 to score now, and maybe we can get a little bit of momentum going here throughout the rest of this game. Well, I thought so, but Rutgers now on a long drive and has it 3rd down and 4. Looking to reclaim the lead. Pressure. This one's dumped out, and that is Shamari Earls on the tackle. We do get the stop. We're going to force Rutgers to a field goal attempt, but it's a little concerning that they've kind of hung around in this game so far. Right hash this one from 29 yards out. The kick is good. The goal is hopefully going to be that I didn't really need to play too many of the snaps in these games, as Michael Smith has it on the out route. Michael Smith up the sidelines all the way to the 33 of Rutgers. 5 catches, 64 yards. And we truly do have a playmaker in Michael Smith. After the 2-minute timeout, we'll hand this one to Dombrowski, and he'll pick up a couple of yards. Clock does stop after the injury. 1:57 to go, as we're looking for some points here to close out the first half, as Underwood's going to scramble, and Underwood's going to take it to the 20-yard line. From the 20, Underwood in the pocket. Michael Smith underneath, and he's got it. Another reception for the senior tight end. Rutgers now taking some timeouts. They want the ball back, and they're going to look for some points themselves. On second down, setting up the screen now. Dombrowski unable to get through the traffic, and the pass falls incomplete. As we're seeing a lot of Dombrowski here. 3rd and 1 upcoming. There's actually a player that I want to get a look at here. We're only 7 games into the season, so I don't think it's too late. As Micah Kaapana's injured, that explains a lot. How about Herschel Turner? He was a transfer from Utah. We know that he's got speed. Let's give him an opportunity here to get some touches. But first, on 3rd and 1 from the 10-yard line, we'll give it to Dombrowski, and Brewski will fight down to the 2-yard line. Rutgers taking their final timeout. And Herschel Turner will check into the game now. He was a late transfer portal addition from Utah. He gets to carry, a cut, and Turner's down to the 1-yard line. Under a minute to go here in the first half. It's Turner again, touchdown, Herschel Turner, and Michigan takes the lead. And with 9 seconds to go in Rutgers territory, there's certainly time for a play or two potentially, as we're going to get this one to Malik Clark. And Malik Clark all the way down to the 22-yard line, and we'll take our second timeout. And with 4 seconds remaining, we are going to kick a 39-yard field goal to try and make this a 17-10 game at the end of the first half. As Chad Dennis's kick is up, and it is good. 7-point lead headed into the break. There's a big pass to senior receiver Aiden Mizell, followed up by a run with Dombrowski of 3 yards, a short completion to Michael Smith, and then the drive stalls out. We will not attempt a field goal, and the game remains 17-10. Third quarter winding down here, score still 17-10, as Rutgers has moved into Michigan territory. They go with a run on first down, and it's going to be a huge gain for the Rutgers offense to the 24-yard line. And what a frustrating game here. DeMarcus Morrow comes to this game, and he is just thinking, no, I do not want to play for Michigan. So on first down, they go with a fake jet sweep, swing it to the outside, and it's going to be a pickup of 5 yards. Looking to force a field goal attempt potentially. We bring 5. This one thrown to the outside, and it's incomplete, broken up by Shamari Earls. And Rutgers is not thinking 3. They want a touchdown, as they'll go trips to the right here on 4th down from the 18-yard line. Here is the quarterback in the pocket. He has time to the end zone, broken up and incomplete as Casey Heyman, the true freshman nickelback. What a frustrating offensive performance for Michigan. The score still 17-10, and we've really been unable to do anything as we'll launch this one to Aiden Mizell deep, and it's incomplete. 3rd and 7 upcoming. 3rd down and 7. Rutgers brings pressure. Underwood throws to Mizell, and the pass falls incomplete. And I think that the struggles on offense, it all begins with a lack of a running game. Defense forces a 3 and out, and now we have the ball in excellent field position with a 3rd and inches upcoming. Like I said, the game plan wasn't to play too many of the snaps in these games because these should be blowout wins, but I wanted to ensure that we could get somewhat close to a blowout victory, but it's not looking likely at the moment. Herschel Turner's checked into the game and only has 6 carries for 18 yards. Has not really been that efficient. As we'll go with the run to Dombrowski here on first down, and he picks up 9. Brewski, on the other hand, has looked pretty good. 13 carries for 61 yards. And I'm already thinking about the next offseason and what my priorities are. One of them is certainly going to be running back. I like Micah Kaapana. I think he's a good running back. He's explosive. But it's become obvious that he struggles to stay healthy. And if he's not going to stay healthy, we can't just rely on Dombrowski. We need a true playmaker at running back. First down and 10 now as we'll look underneath. It's caught by Malik Clark. From the 15-yard line now, here is Underwood. He's going to step up and scramble. Underwood is down to the 1, and he loses the football. It's picked up, though, by Michigan. It was Malik Clark who fell on it. Wow. Again, I was about to call him out again because of how good he's been running, blocking down the field. Watch Michael Smith here again. Underwood with the cutback, Great block pickup there by Michael Smith. He's become so good at it. And then Underwood, fighting for more yardage, just lost the ball. His knee might have been down. It's a bang-bang play for sure. Malik Clark fortunately does fall on it at the 1-yard line. There will be no review as we wind the clock down here. Under 4 minutes to go. Herschel Turner, the running back, from the 1-yard line. We give it to him, and Turner scores. It's his second of the game. Rutgers trailing by 14 points. They're down to their last life here. From the 36-yard line, it's 4th and 9. They spread things out, looking for a first down to continue this game. As quarterback in the pocket, throws to the end zone, and the pass is incomplete. Broken up by Cortland Guillory. And I don't want to do it. I don't want to be that guy that runs the score up, but I think it's important that we try to get the blowout victory for DeMarcus Morrow. And Rutgers calling timeouts kind of makes me want to do that. Second down now as we're going to throw the bubble out. It's Malik Clark. And Malik Clark picks up 9 yards. 3rd and inches upcoming. If we score a touchdown on this play right here, then I can live with the fact that, hey, we blew them out. But I'm not going to run the score up if we don't score here, as Brewski gets to carry, looking for the hole, and Don Brewski's taken down at the 46-yard line, and we're just going to knee it now. So, not the blowout victory we were looking for, but it is a 24-10 victory. I feel like Rutgers is always a team that's never good, but they like to fight and play hard, even in real life. As Bryce Underwood has 194 yards passing and a touchdown, 63% completion percentage. He's definitely been a lot better of a passer this season. Yeah, the offense just was not good today. The defense shut down Rutgers, though, held them to under 300 yards of offense. And we did not force a turnover. And that's something that we really haven't been good at this season so far. As Brewski had 69 yards, Underwood 43 yards rushing. And just continues to be the go-to option running the football. Michael Smith, another really good game, 8 catches for 85 yards. Malik Clark also had 5 catches for 59 yards. Did not give up a sack. As you see, Trayvon Rowe is starting at right tackle now, picked up a pancake in this game. Enau Etta and Marquise Lightfoot had a couple of sacks combined in this game. And like I said, no turnovers. And that's something that's going to have to change, because you get into these big-time matchups. If you can't force turnovers, if you turn the ball over yourself, it could really screw you over. Now, I definitely don't think that performance right there was enough to bring in DeMarcus Morrow, but I am curious to see how well that game did for us. We do bring in 5-star receiver Brett Neblett, though, from Albuquerque, New Mexico. I wonder if he knew Walter White and Jesse Pinkman. We also bring in a commitment out of 4-star running back Darren Aina from Philadelphia. We're going after a couple more running backs, but it is good to finally get Darren Aina to commit. After that visit, DeMarcus Morrow is into his top 3, and he really enjoyed his visit. He's locked out Oklahoma, who I think could have definitely been the biggest threat because of that Week 10 visit. Now the next visit's not going to be until USC in Week 12, which I suspect the battle will be wrapped up by then. Looking at the visit, it went pretty well for him. I think that if we would have blown them out, I think there's a good chance we could have potentially gotten a commitment out of him. And then the battle for the number 1 recruit in the country, John Albright, is now coming down to us and Notre Dame. And I definitely want to take on Notre Dame in the next couple of seasons, try and renew that rivalry. That could be a ton of fun. See, here's another battle. Sharif Molinaro, a battle with Notre Dame. So that would be the perfect rivalry to kick back up, because we're going after the same guys in recruiting. Let's beat them on the field. Thankfully for the battle for Molinaro, though, we do have a visit scheduled for Week 10, which is this week. So I think with a successful visit, we could definitely bring in Sharif Molinaro. And the same thing could be said for 4-star guard Teddy Maddox as well. He's also coming to this Illinois game. The first college football playoff bracket has been released, and if the season were to end today, we would be the 5 seed taking on Florida International. That'd be the type of game where I could just simulate that one, not even play it, and I think we'd be just fine. Interesting to see Colorado, though, 8-0. So Deion Sanders actually putting together a pretty good season with the Buffaloes. SMU's undefeated, and then there is Notre Dame at 8-0. Penn State also 8-0. So I think those would be some interesting games to see in the future, especially against Notre Dame. But we'll see if this game here against Illinois is enough to finally bring in DeMarcus Morrow, the 3rd-ranked player in the country, the number 1 quarterback in the country, and the clear and obvious successor to Bryce Underwood. And boy, do I have a surprise for you. This is a Thursday night football game here against Illinois. Could potentially be the week that we bring in DeMarcus Morrow, and we are debuting for the first time since 2017 the all-maize uniforms. You know, I don't hate them. You know, you bust them out every once in a while, and by that I mean like every 10 years. This time we bust them out against one of the worst teams in the Big Ten, and hopefully we don't lose in them. Illinois 1-7. They have not won a Big Ten game all season long. This should certainly be a blowout victory. But again, that has not been the case, as it is 3rd and 12 for us at the 42 of Illinois. And we're trailing 7-3 as Underwood drops back here. Mizell is open. First down to Aiden Mizell. As Bryce Underwood goes over 2,000 yards passing on the season, and he has looked a lot better this year. After the completion to Aiden Mizell, we are in the red zone as this one's lobbed to Malik Clark, who comes down with the 9-yard reception, as that'll bring up 2nd and 1 from the 7-yard line. Micah Kaapana is healthy. It was a one-game injury for him as he gets to carry, and he's short. And he fumbles the ball at the last second. He does get on it, and Andrew Babalola injured at the end of that play. They did review it. They decided that his knee was down, and so it'll be 3rd and 1 instead of 3rd and 3 as we go back to Kaapana, and he's not going to go anywhere. 4th and 2 upcoming as my batteries are low in my controller. No vibration. 4th and 2. This one thrown underneath. It's caught by Amarion Stewart down to the 2-yard line. 1st and goal. How about this? We don't go under center very often. We are this time. And Underwood's going to just throw it to Jalen Hoffman for 6. He was wide open. And we are going to reclaim the lead. We've finally been able to take control of this game as it's 26-10 here in the 3rd quarter. And I believe we're on the move here. 1st and 10 at the 25 of Illinois. A touchdown here would put this game away for sure. 2 tight ends in the game. Now there's a play action. Michael Smith across the middle, and he comes down with the reception. 279 yards passing for Bryce Underwood, and he has looked really good in this game. As we're into the red zone now, 2nd and 2. Play action. Malik Clark, touchdown Michigan. I don't imagine that Bryce Underwood will stay past this season. I think that he's definitely going to declare. He's put together a really strong season here as a junior, and he is one of the top 10 quarterbacks in the country overall wise. As that'll do it, 36-17 is the final score. Too many times in this game, though, we settled for 3 instead of scoring a touchdown. We'll have to check how many field goal attempts Chaz Nimrod had in this game. Chaz Nimrod, he is definitely not the kicker for this football team. It's Chad Dennis. Chaz Nimrod's a receiver for USF, so ignore what I just said. But overall, it was a strong showing for our offense, and especially Bryce Underwood. We held Illinois to under 300 yards of offense. We did force a turnover in this game, to my surprise, as Bryce Underwood went 29-41 passing, 307 yards, 3 touchdowns, no interceptions. And he also ran the ball for 48 yards. And again, was competing for the top spot in our backfield as far as rushing goes. Michael Smith, another really good game. 8 catches, 64 yards. Malik Clark, 7 for 89 and a touchdown. And Amarion Stewart and Jalen Hoffman also had receiving touchdowns. Defensively, Marquise Lightfoot had 2 sacks. Jeff Fair had 1. And then Cortland Guillory had an interception. And Chad Dennis, not Chaz Nimrod, Chad Dennis was 5 for 5 on field goal attempts, but like I said, too often we were settling for 3 instead of scoring a touchdown. Doesn't matter though, 36-17 victory. We moved to 8-1. And now we'll see if that was enough to bring in DeMarcus Morrow. I don't think that we're going to get sucked into a recruiting battle. I think we pick up the commitment right now, as we do pick it up from Sharif Molinaro, the 5-star linebacker, and we pick up the 4-star commitment, Teddy Maddox. DeMarcus Morrow, it's going to have to wait a little bit longer. Same thing for John Albright. And then DeMarcus Morrow, I'm shocked that we didn't pick up the commitment. It's still only week 11, so USC and Washington aren't going to have their visits. I think if USC had a visit scheduled for week 11, I do think we would get locked into a recruiting battle. I don't think that's going to happen this time. We should be able to bring in DeMarcus Morrow, potentially even John Albright at the end of this game against Little Brother. Speaking of our little brother, they're 3-6 with a 1-5 conference record. And for some reason, they just continue to suck. That's just Michigan State football. They got blown out against Notre Dame 31-7 earlier in the year. They did beat Rutgers in their first Big Ten game of the season, but have now lost their last 5 against Washington, Northwestern, Ohio State, Wisconsin, and Indiana. And now we battle them for the Paul Bunyan Trophy. This should be a win for us, but you never know what could happen against a team like Michigan State in this game. But it doesn't look good for him. 72 overall quarterback Kevin Gideon. If he gets injured, they have a 64 overall quarterback. I mean, how are you a Power 5 or Power 4 team, I should say, in the Big Ten, and you're not able to recruit quarterbacks at all? I mean, that guy looks like he's probably a 2-star. The offensive line isn't terrible. The defensive line is actually pretty solid overall. Their defense in general is solid, but their safeties are just not good players. I just don't get it. I don't understand how you can recruit so poorly. Kevin Gideon is a junior quarterback as well, so it's just, I don't know. Signed with Michigan State, 2,400 yards, 15 touchdowns, 11 interceptions on the season. Yeah, this is just a terrible quarterback, and I'm shocked that Michigan State's not able to find somebody that's at least serviceable. But we are heading to East Lansing for this game as well, so that, increases the difficulty here in this rivalry game. I don't anticipate they're going to have a Kenneth Walker-like performance in this game, so we should be able to take care of business. But we're off to a slow start again. In each of these games, at the end of the first quarter, when I've jumped into the play, we've been struggling as Micah Kapana with the carry up the middle picks up good yardage. But trailing again, 14-7 this time, the defense has really struggled to stop the Michigan State offense and their 72 overall quarterback. As Michael Smith deep up the seam and is nearly intercepted. Second down upcoming for Michigan. This team sucks, but this is the 23rd most dangerous environment to play in. The crowd is going crazy. Michael Smith is open, and he comes down with it. And he hurdles a man. Michael Smith, what a play. Yeah, this guy's incredible. I told you we have a playmaker in Michael Smith. And you see it on display again. He's able to create the separation against the linebacker, breaks the tackle, and then the safety comes up. And how about that? Michael Smith, what a play. So after the incredible play by Michael Smith, sets us up 1st and 10 at the 15-yard line. Underwood on the keeper. Underwood scores. An extra point away from tying this game up as Spartan Stadium has been silenced. 3 straight first downs. And Michigan State has it at the 26-yard line. Gideon, the quarterback, has played really well in this game. As they go play action now, Gideon in the pocket, has time to throw. He's going to step up and scramble, and he'll slide down after a pickup of 4 yards. Kevin Gideon, the dual threat junior quarterback. He's a dual threat quarterback that has 80 speed, so he's not very dual threat, in my opinion, but he needs some kind of archetype. On 2nd and 6, underneath, and it is caught for a first down. 5 catches for Jones, 75 yards. And we need somebody on this defense to make a play. We should not be in a close game with Michigan State right now. Tackle for loss in the backfield by K.C. Heyman and Marquise Lightfoot. 2nd and goal now. Running back stays in the backfield, a block, and it's going to be a sack for the defense. Marquise Lightfoot. And that backs him up 3rd and goal all the way at the 18-yard line. We're only going to bring 4 on this play. Cole Sullivan out there in an edge rush position now. On 3rd and goal, here's Gideon, and he's going down, but he gets rid of it at the last second. 4th and goal upcoming. Enau Etta got in there on the pressure. And again, Michigan State on the move with under 3 minutes to go in the first half. I don't understand how we have struggled so much. We struggled against this team last year as well. As they go with the run, what a block on Cole Sullivan. As Jamie Reyna has 9 rush attempts for 115 yards. And statistically speaking, this rivalry game, the team that runs for the most amount of yards typically is the team that wins this game. Right now, Michigan State's winning that battle. 1st and 10, here's pressure. What am I talking about? It's a touchdown for Michigan State. I thought it was a play action the whole time. Wow. Michigan State came to play. Jamie Reyna came to play. 132 yards rushing on only 10 attempts and 3 touchdowns. What did I say at the beginning of this game? I don't suspect we'll see a Kenneth Walker-like performance. And Jamie Reyna's done just that. I couldn't even get into simulating because I had to rant about how, poor our defense has played in this game. Wow, this is ugly. As we take possession at our own 46-yard line here at the beginning of the third quarter, looking for something as Micah Kaapana gets the carry, and he picks up a first down. Kaapana has been efficient. 9 carries, 54 yards in this game, but he's not been Jamie Reyna efficient. After the run by Kaapana, brings up 1st and 10. Underwood, pressure in his face, and he goes down. A sack for the Spartans, their 3rd of the game. The crowd is into it here. Michael Smith is wide open, and that's an excellent play by the safety, incomplete. And that brings up 3rd and long. 3rd and long here. Michael Smith matched up on a linebacker. I'm taking the deep shot, and it is dropped by Michael Smith and incomplete. And we'll have to punt. Thankfully, our defense makes a play, and we get the ball right back at the 47-yard line of Michigan State. I think you have to try and run the football here. You have to try and use the running game to get back into it, as Don Bruschi picks up 7 yards. That's the thing, though. Our running game has not really been good this season. Press coverage on the outside for these Michigan State DBs, as Underwood's just going to step up. Can he outrun the defensive lineman? No, but he picks up the first down anyway. I think the key to success at this point, just keep Jamie Reyna from touching the football. If you don't give him the ball back, then Jamie Reyna can't just do whatever he wants against you. As this one's thrown across body and caught by Aiden Mizell. A spin move down to the 11-yard line. First reception of the game for Aiden Mizell, and that'll bring up 1st and 10 from the 12-yard line. Looking to score a touchdown here, as this one's handed off to Don Bruschi. Michael Smith was open. It just took too long for him to get through traffic, so Underwood had to hand it off there. As that'll bring up a 2nd and 12 now after the negative play. And Underwood's going to try and set up the screen to Michael Smith, and it's incomplete. Terrible sequence of plays there for the Michigan offense, as that'll bring up a 3rd and 12, batted at the line of scrimmage and incomplete. And we'll send out Chad Dennis to try and make this a 7-point game. But man, oh man, Michigan State really playing hard in this game. We're going to rely on our defense here to try and get a stop for us. It's 3rd and 10. Jamie Reyna again not touching the ball in this situation. And a pocket, Gideon dumps it off to Reyna, and we'll stop him short of the first down. Probably got a good spot there. Looked like he was well shy of the first down. They're going to say he's only inches shy. And it's a 3 and out for us on offense. So just continuing to struggle. We force a 3 and out. And can we please pass the ball a little bit as it's intercepted by Michigan State. And now we definitely need the defense to make a play for us. And one of the worst offensive performances of the season, Michigan State now has the ball in our territory, looking to add to their lead as Reyna gets the carry. Jamie Reyna up the middle, all the way to the 6-yard line. 16 carries for 167 yards. And we have had no answer for Jamie Reyna. Dropping back is Gideon now to the end zone. Touchdown, Spartans. This is not good at all, especially when you're considering the fact that, the number 1 quarterback in the nation could commit to you after this week. If you can't win this game, why should he? There's a big play for the offense as we move into the 4th quarter now, and now we go back to running the ball when it has not been successful. 3rd and 6 upcoming now. We need a first down. Malik Clark, he's got it as he's fighting down to the 26-yard line. We need a touchdown now. First down from the 26. Thrown, caught by Aiden Mizell. First down and 10, Michigan. We're in the red zone looking for a touchdown. We trail by 14. We were able to get down here in a hurry, which definitely helps us. But now you have to cap it off with a touchdown. Michael Smith. That's a tight window to try and fit that in there. Thought we had him for a second. Sua was looking for his 2nd interception of the game. 2nd down upcoming. We're going to try and go to the run here with Kaapana. Nice cutback by Kaapana. Fighting through tacklers all the way to the 1-yard line. And Glass Bones Micah Kaapana is injured again. We can't catch a break with this guy. He's been hurt. How many times this season now? 1st and goal, Michigan. Play action. Underwood throws. Caught by Jalen Hoffman for a touchdown. You don't expect a fullback to be able to drag his feet like that, but Jalen Hoffman did it. Kaapana with back spasms is cleared to return, but I'm not sure I want him to return. 3rd and 6 for Michigan State now. Did not anticipate that I would have to, pay attention to this game all that much. As here's Gideon throwing the deep ball. Shamari Earls in coverage, and he breaks it up. Shamari Earls has been so good for us. He's not the highest overall corner on this roster, but he is really solid in coverage overall. As we're going to get the ball back down by 7 with a chance to tie it up. And Mario Stewart's going to be able to return this one, and he'll take it up to the 24. From the 24, it is first down. Malik Clark open, but it's intercepted again. And it's Sua again. Are you kidding me? Michigan State making all the plays. Leviticus Sua, the middle linebacker, with his second interception of the game. This is just terrible. And now with 8:46 remaining, you need to force a turnover of your own, I think, at this point. They set up the screen. It's Reyna. He's going to have a first down and a cut back up to the 6-yard line, a gain of 12. The only thing you can hope for here is a turnover. If they make this a 2-score game, with the way that our offense has played today, I don't think it's very likely to come back. Reyna to the outside, taken down for a loss. Play fake. No, they give it to Reyna, and he's going to take it for a touchdown. That's twice now where I thought they were running a play action, and they just gave it to Reyna instead. They weren't even RPOs. I was just seeing it wrong. And now it's a 2-score game, and Jamie Reyna has actually put together a Kenneth Walker-like performance. Like, you want to talk about eating your words. I mean, that's the definition of doing it. This is just terrible. And now with 7 minutes to go, we're faced with another third down because offensively, we just continue to try and establish a run game, and it hasn't worked. 3rd down and 4 for Michigan. As we're going to throw this one underneath, and a pass is broken up. It was batted away at the line of scrimmage, and it's going to bring up a 4th and 4. I certainly think that the offense is in for a playbook change at the end of this season. I just don't like it, as we'll throw this one underneath, caught by Malik Clark for a first down. Not that I think it's bad, because we've seen Bryce Underwood have, the best season so far of the Dynasty, but maybe it's the running backs that we have. It's not necessarily the playbook, but it's the running backs that we have on this roster where we just struggle to run the ball, or maybe we call for runs at the wrong times. But we're going to look for some kind of a miracle in this one, as Michael Smith has it, first down. Mizell burnt his man there, but he was being double covered, so there's really not much you could do, as Underwood's going to step out of bounds for a first down. 10 carries, 49 yards again. Bryce Underwood has been pretty much the go-to option in the running game. 1st and 10, we're going to hand this one off to Kaapana, and he's going to have a first down. Kaapana has had a good game today. 82 yards rushing, just struggling to stay healthy. We're going to give it back to Kaapana, and he's going to pick up a couple of yards. I know we're wasting a lot of time right now, but it's important that you score the touchdown. You can't really do anything else unless you score the touchdown. So on 2nd and 7, we're going to go back to Kaapana again, and he's not in. How's he not in? His whole body's in the end zone. That is crazy. He's going to stay in the game here, though, from the 1-yard line. Michael Smith comes in motion. Michigan State stacking the box. We give it to Kaapana. Touchdown, Micah Kaapana. And now the defense will need to make a play. There's an interception by Casey Heyman, the true freshman nickel corner, with a big-time play, and we'll take over at the 50-yard line. I said the defense needed to make a play, and that's exactly what Casey Heyman just did, as this one's thrown and nearly intercepted again. A lot of traffic there in the middle of the field, and that's just a poorly designed play. It brings up 2nd and 10. We're going to try and set up the screen. Brewski with the reception. He's trying to outrun the defense, and he's only going to pick up a couple of yards. 3rd and 7 upcoming. 2:22 remaining. Aiden Mizell comes in motion. We get it to him. Aiden Mizell with the first down up to the 34 of Michigan State. Bryce Underwood nearing 200 yards passing, but it has not been a good game for him. And I think most quarterbacks go through a game where they just kind of struggle. And that's the game we're seeing out of Bryce Underwood today. Hopefully it's all for nothing, as that one is nearly caught by Michael Smith. So 2nd and 10 now. Michael Smith on the drag. Again, incomplete, intended for the senior tight end. And that'll bring up a 3rd and 10 for the Michigan offense. Looking for a big play. Michael Smith was open and overthrown by Bryce Underwood. He has not had a good game today. And now it comes down to this 4th and 10 from the 34 of Michigan State. Smith is wide open, and he can't come down with it. Again, it just feels like a poorly designed play. Because why is Malik Clark running a post? I know I could hot route. But the fact that he was forced inside right here, it just made his route weird. And there was a lot of traffic, and the defensive back that's matched up on Malik Clark is the one that actually breaks the pass up. Michael Smith's defender, the linebacker, is not even within 5 yards of him. If he catches that, he probably runs in for a touchdown. Instead, Michigan State has the ball with 1:46 to go. We have 1 timeout. You got to think they're running the ball here. There's no way they would drop back and pass. They run the draw. Good play there by Dion Mangum. And we could potentially get the ball back with maybe 15 seconds left. They go back to the run. It's Jamie Reyna. And Reyna picks up good yardage. I don't think they would pass it here. It would not make sense to pass it. I'm going to anticipate a run. I'm not going to sell out to stop the run. But you got to think that's what they're coming with here on 3rd and 5. Nope, they're going to pass. Here's pressure. They're trying to hit us with the dagger. And it's intercepted by Shamari Earls. Shamari Earls has space on the sidelines. And he'll be taken out at the 39-yard line. And instead of running the ball and giving it back to us with 15 to 20 seconds, they throw a pick, and now we have it with 51 seconds. Wow. And I'm interested to know who's going to be matched up on Michael Smith. Looks like they're going to put a safety on him. Play clock winding down. Don't want to get a delay of game here, as Malik Clark was open for a second. We just have to give Bryce Underwood time to throw here. 47 seconds remaining at the 39-yard line. Trying to set up a screen. And Micah Kalapana just got to get space. We'll see if they go man or zone here. They're going to go with man-to-man coverage, and Mizell's got speed. Aiden Mizell with a first down. We'll see if they go back to man-to-man here. It would be interesting to see if they did. I would anticipate zone this time. Malik Clark is going to get the target downfield, and the pass is incomplete. Bryce Underwood, under 50% completion percentage. He's attempted 40 passes in this game. And Don Bruschi is now out there as a receiver. Underwood's going to scramble. It's important you pick up a first down here. And he does. 22 seconds remaining. Not going to spike it. We're going to get up to the line and try and call a play here. 19 seconds remaining. Malik Clark overthrown and incomplete. 16 seconds remaining. I wonder if maybe they go to man-to-man here again. This is the same play, if I can show it. It's the same play that we threw the last 4th down on. And they're showing man. Do they man up that linebacker and Michael Smith again? They do. Smith can't come down with it. Pass falls incomplete. That time he did a lot better in coverage. 12 seconds remaining at the 23-yard line. Michael Smith is going to come down with it again. Touchdown, Michigan. Just like the Indiana game. Might be the same exact play call. And it looks like we're going to go to overtime. This is incredible. 44 seconds, 8-play, 61-yard touchdown drive to tie this game up. Wow. The Cardiac Wolverines, apparently, as we'll begin this overtime period on defense. You look back to that Indiana game, and Indiana missed a field goal. Actually, am I even thinking that? No, I'm thinking of the Oregon game. So, that's got to be an interception. The Oregon game, Oregon began that overtime period with a missed field goal. And then we went down the field, and then from our own 1-yard line kicked a game-winning field goal. We're on the road this time, and it's not Oregon. As here is Reyna, gets the carry and picks up good yardage. I just don't want this to get to the point where you're now taking, where you're going for 2. I want this to finish in the first 2 overtime periods, if at all possible. And now Michigan State has it 1st and goal from the 1. They go 5 wide here. They're putting the ball in their 72 overall quarterback's hands, and he's going to score. Is this one of the best Michigan State games of all time? I look back to the Braylon Edwards 3-touchdown game, and that comeback. That one was a good one, and this one kind of reminds me of it. 45-38, and now we must score a touchdown to extend this to a second overtime period. 1st and 10 from the 25. Underwood in the pocket's going to step up and scramble, and he slides down. It's a first down of the 14. From the 14 now, Michael Smith is going to work his way open, and Michael Smith has it first and goal at the 4-yard line. He's the go-to guy. He's the guy that I'm looking to pass to in majority of these situations. Dombrowski's open on the slant, and he's got it for a touchdown. And we'll take this to a second overtime period. 45-44. It is now 45-45. And now we will have the ball first. If you guys have enjoyed this episode so far, leave a like, comment, subscribe. I've had a lot of fun putting this series together so far as we're looking to move to 9-1 here in Season 2 in the Jack Angel era. As Smith open for a second, it's sailed high and intercepted. The 4th pick thrown by Bryce Underwood. And now Michigan State, all they need to do is set themselves up for a field goal opportunity. We're going to sell it to stop the run. Dion Mangum was out there on the screen. I just read it too late. You have to sell out to make a... You just have to try and make a play here. If they score a touchdown, they score a touchdown, but you have to try and make a play. 2nd and 15 from the 30-yard line. We'll bring Jaden Sanders down. Try and bring pressure off the edge. And as Sanders doesn't get to him, had a chance, and I just whiffed. I'm going to go out on a limb and say their fullback is not getting the ball here on 3rd and 15. As we're going to sell it to stop the run again. It's a screen, and Mason Curtis is going to make the play. But it's going to come down to a field goal attempt. We'll try to ice him. We'll see. Can Josiah Edmond come off the edge and block this? Here's the field goal attempt. And it is looking wide right. It's no good off the uprights. Oh my gosh. We survived to a 3rd overtime period. I wish they would just show that play at full speed, because it was just throwing me off as they go 5 wide here. They might go with a quarterback blast here. We'll see what they decide to do here. They're going to throw across the middle, and they're going to get in. Wow. We were there to make the stop, and then he was able to fight through the contact and fight for the conversion. How many lucky breaks are we going to get in this game? Here you go. This is why I hate the 2-point conversion rule. I don't like that it comes down to one opportunity. As Underwood's going to scramble, he's in. On to a 4th overtime against our little brother. This episode was supposed to be a quick one, maybe a 40-minute episode. I don't think that's going to be the case now. He's open. Malik Clark's got the conversion. And now, can we stop Michigan State? A stop would result in a victory in a crazy come-from-behind Paul Bunyan Trophy game. One of the craziest of its history. 49-47. Reyna is the running back. We're going to bring pressure. Here is the throw to the end zone. Incomplete, and we win. I thought he had him open. And the Paul Bunyan Trophy will stay in Ann Arbor. 49-47. What a game. And that keeps our conference championship hopes alive. That keeps our first-round playoff bye alive. What a game. Bryce Underwood threw 4 interceptions. And he threw what I thought was the biggest mistake of his career in that 2nd overtime period. He threw his 4th interception, but then the defense made the plays they needed to make, forced a field goal attempt. You at least put the game in the hands of the kicker. And what do college kickers do? They miss. At the end of it all, look at the stat line. We had 1 more yard rushing than they did. I'm telling you, whoever wins that rushing battle wins the game. What a game. What a game. 4 turnovers for us, 3 for them, as Kevin Gideon threw 3 interceptions. What a sloppy performance by both quarterbacks. 7 combined thrown interceptions. Kaapana, 93 yards rushing, 76 for Bryce Underwood. Michael Smith, 6 for 76, but had 3 drops. So at times we were looking his way, and he wasn't really coming down with many of those passes. Defensively, only 2 sacks. Jeff Fair and Marquise Lightfoot. And then Jaden Sanders, Casey Heyman, and Shamari Earls all had interceptions. And then one player I want to talk about for Michigan State was their running back, Jamie Reyna. He's a sophomore, 23 attempts, 191 yards, and 4 touchdowns. Yeah, he's good. I like Jamie Reyna. He's a good running back. 49-47. Just a crazy game against the Spartans. And now maybe DeMarcus Morrow decides he's going to commit. I don't know. Was that enough? Was that not fun enough for you? As we'll advance to the next week, and we'll see, did we do enough to bring in the commitment of 5-star DeMarcus Morrow? John Albright, the 5-star #1 player in the country, decides to commit. And I got my fingers crossed. DeMarcus Morrow, the 5-star #1 quarterback in the nation from Phoenix, Arizona, has committed. And I think that when he is through with his time in Ann Arbor, I think Jack Angel will also be through with his time in Ann Arbor. A huge commitment and a huge victory over Michigan State. We also see we brought in 3-star fullback Pat Poole from Detroit, Michigan. So here's what we got. John Albright, the #1 player in the country. He's a pass protector. He has 83 pass blocks, 67 run block. We're going to need that run block rating to get up there a little higher before he gets some serious playing time. But I am excited about what he could bring to the table here in a couple of years. But DeMarcus Morrow, he has the step-up ability, the on-time ability. He's also got a couple of mental abilities, 93 throw power. His accuracies are all above 80. He's also got 78 speed, 79 acceleration, and 78 throw on the run. So he is somebody that is considered a pocket passer, but I do think he can make plays out of the pocket if he needs to. He kind of reminds me a little bit of a Caleb Williams type of quarterback potentially. Is that a stretch? I don't know. DeMarcus Morrow is going to be the heir to the throne in Ann Arbor. So we'll play one more game here before we wrap this episode up. We're 9-1, 6-1 in conference play, and I think it would be really, really cool to be able to play Penn State again. They're 10-0, and they're 7-0 in the conference. So with a victory against Iowa and Ohio State, it would be Penn State who we take on. Washington's also put together a really solid season. They're 8-2. Oregon's 8-2 as well. Ohio State just sucks. And then USC 7-3. We'll take a look at Andrew Marsh and Jordan Marshall in the next episode. But one more game here before we wrap up this episode. Can we please just get a game where we take care of business? So, fun fact, I took a road trip this past summer before the football season started. I stayed in Iowa City on my road trip. I went all the way across the country. Stayed in Iowa City. I love Iowa City. I went on a long run. I think it was like a 11-mile run through the campus right by the football stadium. I stayed at a Drury Inn in Iowa City. I know I'm giving you a story time, but I really do like Iowa City a lot. I have a lot of respect for the Iowa Hawkeyes football program. I just think that this is a really well-ran team, and I would look to model my team after Iowa if I were to create my own team in real life. Enough said, though. We're going to try and beat the brakes off of them. And again, why can't we just get off to a hot start? Why do we have to get into these games where it's 7-0, or we're trailing at the end of the first quarter, looking for our defense to make a play? As they throw this one out to the tight end, wearing number 97, Bryce Baker, the quarterback. He was the quarterback for him last year as well. So 1st and 10 now for Iowa at the 31-yard line. They're going to go to the run game now, and that's Jeff Fair in the backfield. He's had a really solid sophomore season. 2nd and 10 now. They go back to the run game, up the middle, and a pickup of 9 yards for Marquis James. 3rd and 1, they go with the sneak, and he is short. And that'll bring up a field goal attempt for Iowa. You know, Iowa don't play about their field goal attempts. If they're in field goal range, they're kicking the field goal, and they take a 10-0 lead. How about Cortland Guillory with the interception? Can we please score a touchdown? 4th and inches. We pick up the first down, and we score the touchdown. And the extra point gets blocked. Go figure. As Iowa is marching their way down the field here, up by 4, with about 2 minutes to go here in the first half. Bryce Baker has turned this Hawkeyes offense into a monster here as he throws underneath, and Dion Mangum comes away with a big hit. After the 2-minute timeout, Iowa again with the ball as Baker throws too tall. 3rd and 6 upcoming. We're going to bring pressure here against Bryce Baker. So bizarre to see a tight end wearing number 97 on 3rd and 6. We'll see if they try and target him. He's quick off the line as this one's thrown. It's a first down for Iowa. Cortland Guillory can't keep up, and Iowa scores. Why can't we have an easy game? Bryce Baker's attempted 19 passes. Bryce Underwood, 6. And another 3 and out. And Iowa's looking for points before the end of the half. Not going to get them, but man, we need a play here. 3rd and 9 upcoming. We're in Iowa territory. This is terrible. This offense looks terrible. 3rd and 9 from the 47. Underwood, time to throw. It's running out. And a pass is incomplete. We'll have to punt it away. Defense gets us the ball back, though. 3rd and 8 at the 32-yard line. Aiden Mizell and press coverage down there. They put a safety to help, but Mizell has a step. Aiden Mizell's going to score. Finally, we connect on a big deep shot to Aiden Mizell. I've waited literally all season. I've waited 10 and a half games to finally see it. And there we finally do. They even had a safety over top to help out, but Aiden Mizell and his 98 speed is just too quick for most defensive backs. As we'll go for 2 to try and make this a 3-point game. Nobody matched up on Malik Clark. We get it to him, and it's a 3-point game here in Kinnick Stadium. But Iowa on the move now. What a play, a penalty, and then they have it set up at the 7-yard line. Like, why can't we just take care of business? 3 tight ends in a ball game, good old-fashioned Iowa football. Bryce Baker's going to scramble, and he's hit down at the 5-yard line. I think my user defense has gotten a little bit better. Now they take a tight end off the field. They make it 2 tight ends from the 5-yard line, 2nd down and goal. They're going to drop back. Bryce Baker's going to score. Touchdown, Iowa. They extend their lead. Bryce Baker, 15 carries for 52 yards so far in this game. There's a big touchdown. Malik Clark, 53 yards. And it's back to a 3-point game. And Iowa just continuing to make plays. And another penalty. It's Cole Sullivan this time. And now they have it at the 28-yard line. How about this power eye out of Iowa here on 1st and 10? Telling you, I would run my team like Iowa does. There's a big tackle by Hyman. After the short gain, they go back to the ground. And there's Cortland Guillory on the tackle. 3rd and long upcoming here for Iowa. It'll be interesting to see if they take this to the 4th quarter or do they try and get a play call off here. They're taking it to the 4th, up by 3. 2 tight ends in the game here on 3rd down. Baker in the pocket, throws, and it's caught for a 1st down. How does Cortland Guillory not turn his head and see the ball? Why is this episode trying to get my blood pressure up here? 1st and goal. Here's pressure. They dump it off. It's a screen to the 5-yard line. As Nathaniel Owusu-Boateng shaken up on the play. Chase Taylor's now checked in the game at linebacker. First time we've seen him out there today. Or this season, I should say. As Lugard Idokpai shaken up on that play. You also have Hayes, the backup middle linebacker freshman, out there playing now. Here's a reverse to the end zone. Oh my gosh, Hayes about had it. Pass falls incomplete. Iowa will make this a 6-point game. Nearly had a turnover there. Big run by Dombrowski, 20 yards. That'll bring up 3rd down and 3 now. At our own 45-yard line. The give is to Dombrowski. He's got the 1st down. 7 carries, 40 yards for the true freshman. 1st down throw to Michael Smith is complete. And he's got a 1st down as Jake Guarnera, our starting center, shaken up on the play. Been a quiet game for Michael Smith. That was only his 3rd reception of the game. As we'll go play action here. We're going to throw this one to the outside to Malik Clark. And he can't come down with it. There's no way this episode is going to be longer than the episode where we played so many great teams. He's open, and this one is a touchdown for Michigan. It's Aiden Mizell. And an extra point away from taking the lead. 2 catches, 108 yards, and 2 touchdowns for Aiden Mizell. Having a Randy Moss type of day, and we do have the lead with 8:49 to go. A sack for Cole Sullivan, and that's a big-time play for the Michigan defense. But we're going to have to punt it right back to them. 3rd and 5 upcoming, and the pass is incomplete. Can we just run the clock out on these guys, please? There's a pass to Marion Stewart for a 1st down. 3rd and 2 upcoming with 3 minutes to go. This is arguably the biggest play of the game. On 3rd down, it is Underwood on the keeper. Bryce Underwood with the cutback. Bryce Underwood will score. Touchdown, Michigan. What a run by Bryce Underwood, and he has been the best option as far as running the ball this season. What a cutback. Again, waiting for Michael Smith to pick up a block. How many times I got to say it? You just have to be patient. You let our star senior tight end Michael Smith pick up the blocks for you. He's going to be there for you. And we're going to try and make this a 9-point game and just put Iowa out of their misery, please. We're going for 2. Underwood gets out of the pocket. Underwood's going to throw to the end zone. And it's caught by Malik Clark. Are you kidding me? A 9-point game. I know some of you might hate that decision. I don't. Just get the game over with. Under 2 minutes to go now. 4th and 2. Iowa has 1 timeout remaining. They go to the goal line set. They throw the toss out to the running back, and he will have enough for the first down. And he gets out of bounds as well, so it does stop the clock for him. See, if we don't get that 2-point conversion, I understand it's a 7-point game. And then if Iowa scores, then we're going to overtime. I get it, but I'm not mad at it. You know, when you have an opportunity to just put the game away, I feel like sometimes you have to take that opportunity. 2nd and 7 now. Baker is going to dump this one underneath. A couple yards shy of the first down marker. 3rd and 1 upcoming. Clock continues to move. Under a minute and a half to go. Iowa does have 1 timeout remaining. Baker in the pocket, throws to the outside, and it's caught. And that'll stop the clock. Minute 20 remaining. Play action. This one's a deep shot. Cortland Guillory with the pass breakup. Another play action again. You're not fooling anybody with it. Tight ends open, number 97 to the 13-yard line. And the standout star sophomore defensive tackle, Jeff Fair, shaken up on the play. 1:11 to go. Bryce Baker in the pocket, standing tall, throws this one out to his running back, who picks up a couple of yards. But the clock will continue to move now. He did not get out of bounds. Under a minute to go. 2nd down and 6. Quarterback has time. Throws and intercepted by Dion Mangum. And Dion Mangum is going to take this one out. Bryce Baker will take him down at the 25-yard line. But Michigan will survive a road scare. I mean, it's like, what, the 4th scare of the episode? 36-27 is the final. Next episode, an opportunity to be 11-1. Go back to the Big Ten championship game. Maybe get revenge against Penn State. A lot of storylines heading into the next episode. Also a first-round playoff bye on the line potentially. Iowa's offense played better than our offense, which is a complete surprise in my opinion. 2 interceptions thrown by Bryce Baker. Maybe comes back to haunt him a little bit. Bryce Underwood, 3 touchdown passes, 232 yards. Excellent game for him. He led us in rushing. What a shocker. Don Bruschi had 53 yards. And then Aiden Mizell, 2 for 108 and 2 touchdowns. Kind of the reason we brought him in was for a type of game like this. And we found a lot of success with him in this one. Defensively, Cole Sullivan, the only guy to get a sack. And then Cortland Guillory and Dion Mangum, each with an interception. So we're 10-1. I'm going to go out on a limb to say that we've probably secured a playoff spot at this point in the season. And we have 1 regular season game left, and that's Ohio State, who's 7-4. 5-3 in conference play. They have not been good for the 2nd season in a row here in the Dynasty. If we beat them, we're heading back to the college football playoff for sure. And we're also heading back to the Big Ten championship game with our opponent being Penn State, who is still 11-0. The plan would be to play the Ohio State game and the Big Ten championship game, if we beat Ohio State, of course, in the next episode. And then the next episode would probably be one of the college football playoff games if we make it back. I don't know. I'm trying to think about how the layout would look in the next episode. I'll worry about it once I get there. You never know how long these games could take to record. I thought these 4 games would only take me an hour, but they ended up taking me an hour and 40 minutes at this point. Bryce Underwood, 23 touchdowns, 8 interceptions on the season. Continues to be our leading rusher. Has 7 rushing touchdowns. And then Michael Smith, Malik Clark, and Aiden Mizell, all over 500 yards receiving. But it has been Michael Smith as our number 1. And then defensively, no sacks for George Luter in this episode. But Marquise Lightfoot up to 6.5. Enal Etta up to 6.5. And then 4 interceptions on the year for Cortland Guillory. That's going to do it for this episode. If you guys enjoyed it, leave a like, comment, subscribe. And I'll see you guys in the next one where we take on the Ohio State Suckeyes and the game. See ya.